Hello again, everyone. Welcome to beautiful Belmont Park and Thoroughbred Weekly this evening on MSG Plus. I'm your host, Jason Blewett, joined by my colleague, Andy Serling. Andy coming off another big Saturday here at Belmont Park and nationally as well. Churchill Downs certainly shined on Saturday with a number of graded stakes, but right here at Belmont Park, we saw some of the best fillies and mares in the older division.
Yeah, we really did. We see where 7th Street and Seattle Smooth are going to be as the division goes forward. We obviously saw the return of Music Note in that race. There weren't a lot of betting interest in the race, and we had a heavily favored entry, but from a racing standpoint, there's a lot of intrigue, and we'll see. It's a race that's going to be a very important stepping stone for Saratoga, and of course, races later in the year.
Yeah, you think of the Go for Wand and Personal Ensign upstate, maybe a little Delaware handicap as well. So without further ado, we'll check out Saturday's 41st running of the Grade 1 $300,000 Ogden Phipps handicap, 1 mile and a 16th. Here's Tom Durkin.
And they're off. And 7th Street breaks well. Color Me Up is there. My Dinah down toward the inside. Up the backstretch now, and it's 7th Street with a two-pronged challenge early on. On the outside, Color Me Up down toward the rail, My Dinah. Music Note not far behind. And Music Note runs along in 4th now as her stablemate sets the pace. Seattle Smooth is just on the inside of Music Note. And at the back of the pack on hold early on are Sea Chanter and Nick's Appealing Lady. My Dinah makes a move after the lead. After a 23-2 opening quarter mile, My Dinah pokes ahead in front of 7th Street. 2 lengths back now. On the outside, Color Me Up runs along in 3rd. Then it's Seattle Smooth, 4th toward the inside. Music Note's coming under a ride already. Music Note now and Sea Chanter moving up on the outside. Those two moving together in tandem, in powerful tandem. They're moving together after the lead. Sea Chanter and stablemate Music Note. Those two head-to-head for the lead now with 7th Street and My Dinah. 4 of them stacked across the track with 3 furlongs to go. And Seattle Smooth is 5th. Next Appealing Lady and Color Me Up, and they're coming to the top of the stretch. My Dinah running a big one here. My Dinah narrowly. 7th Street on the outside. Music Note is dropped back. Seattle Smooth switched out. And Sea Chanter top of the stretch. 7th Street is the leader. My Dinah grudgingly gives way. Seattle Smooth. Sea Chanter on the outside. Music Note not today. It is 7th Street and Seattle Smooth driving to the line together. And Seattle Smooth has done it. 5 in a row for Seattle Smooth.
We're joined now by winning rider Ramon Dominguez of the Ogden Phipps Handicap. Ramon, how about the trip you were able to pull down inside? Very patient ride.
Thank you very much. I had a great setup, and she's a true fighter. I mean, she puts you in a good spot, and when it's time to pick it up, she's always there for you. Even when it looks like she's all out, she managed to find a little extra, just like any good horse will. And she showed a lot of determination getting by 7th Street. And thank you to my connection. They brought a filly super ready to run, and I just was a passenger.
To me, it looks like she's actually on the improve, and I don't know, looking at some of her 2-turn races last year, the Cotillion win, she might be better around 2 turns. What do you think?
I rode her in Delaware Park. I'm not sure about what competition she faced today, and it was going 2 turns. I was extremely excited and very pleased with the way she handled that. And then she came back with the Lescano to win a big race, Philadelphia Park, defeating Proud Spell. So she's just as good going 2 turns. It's really hard to tell whether she's better 1 turn or 2 turns, but she's a very good filly no matter what.
So this 4-year-old filly by Quiet American, Seattle Smooth, a perfect 5 for 5 off the trainer change to Tony Dutcher. Ramon Dominguez, who you just saw in the interview, just rode a smart race in the Ogden Phipps, saving ground and letting the 3 Godolphin and Darley-owned fillies battle it out after Music Note had put in that premature move. And I guess the same could be said for Sea Chanter and Seattle Smooth. Very workmanlike. She doesn't blow you away with the razzle-dazzle. 7th Street ran well, but maybe had to move too early to go with their stablemates.
Right. 7th Street really probably was the best horse in that race, taking nothing away from the winner. Ramon was extremely gracious there. I mean, I don't think Ramon feels like he did anything exceptional. It just looks like he rode so well, and he did ride very well because the others made such premature moves.
Now, it's the 2nd Grade 1 career victory for trainer Tony Dutcher, the 1st Grade 1 victory for Seattle Smooth, who I'd have to think we'll see next in the Go for Wand upstate at Saratoga, and she's been a total pro. But, you know, the Phipps, as good as it was, and it was certainly nice to see, even though it didn't work out, Music Note back in action as a 4-year-old, and 7th Street tried to notch another Grade 1 off her upset upset or mild upset in the apple blossom. We had some pretty interesting 3-year-olds running late in the day in the 9th race.
Yeah, we did. We had an old-fashioned non-winners of one race in the 9th race. The Triple Crown's over, and people are now a little more patient. And we had this race, a $46,000 non-winners of 2 lifetime, 3-year-olds and up. We went a mile and 16th, and there could be horses in this race. We'll see maybe in the Dwyer in a few weeks, and the Jim Dandy, and even a bigger race we have at Saratoga later in the meet.
And they're off. Nowhere to Hide breaks in front. From the inside, it's Too Brash. Top It in between those two, and Top It up to take the lead. Top It narrowly. Too Brash now second on the inside. Nowhere to Hide now back running in third. About to be passed by Haitian Sensation. Mansala is now fifth. Copper Cascade sixth on the inside. Long Jump and Gridiron trails the field. Down the backstretch. Top It and Too Brash takes a crack at the lead from the inside. First quarter was quick. 22 4/5 seconds. And aggressively, it's Too Brash to take a narrow lead. Top It right alongside that one. And it's a break of 3. Haitian Sensation being hustled along while running in third. Masala fourth toward the inside. Nowhere to Hide is fifth, about 4 lengths from the lead. A break of another 3.5 to Long Jump and Gridiron. And 5 lengths back to Copper Cascade around the far turn. It was a grueling half mile of 45 2/5 seconds between Top It and Too Brash. They're still head-to-head for the lead. Nowhere to Hide just outside of Masala. Masala now moves for the lead up into third. Nowhere to Hide is back to fourth on the outside. A break of 6 back to Gridiron. At the quarter pole, Too Brash turns for home in front. Masala's on the outside. Top It is now back to third. Nowhere to Hide is fourth. Here's Masala who takes over. It's Masala in front by almost 2. Too Brash is second. Top It is third. Nowhere to Hide is fourth. The others are struggling home. No struggle for Masala today. Masala wins by a decisive length over Too Brash.
This was an interesting race in that it was sort of a comparably run race to the Ogden Phipps, and Masala got an absolutely perfect trip in this race to get the victory. Masala was making his first start for trainer Alan Jerkins after having run for Todd Pletcher before, had run well in Florida, and then had run in the Gotham where he was just a little bit over his head, not quite ready for the race, and didn't run that badly. Then he was on to synthetics and turf, back to what he does best. But the second place finisher in here, Too Brash, a horse trained by John Kimmel, really stepped it up in here because he and Top It, who finished third, both of them ran well, got involved in a very strong duel, and Too Brash did extremely well to run second here. These horses can run.
Very stubborn down inside was Too Brash, and I was surprised with the effort. I didn't like him at all going in, and considering the pace, I thought he had no chance to hang around at the top of the stretch, but he hung in, and Masala, as you pointed out, a perfect trip winner off that trainer change to the Chief, and I guess that race sort of makes things a little bit even more interesting, looking ahead to perhaps the Dwyer here in a race like the Jim Dandy, because I've got to think even going back to Belmont Stakes Day, a horse like Munnings who won the Woody Stevens, you've got Just Ben and Convocation. It's like all of a sudden there's all these new shooters that look very promising.
Absolutely, there are. And you know, we lost so many of our better horses going into the Triple Crown, into the Kentucky Derby. And obviously we saw a nice show from some of the horses that are still running, but I think it did leave a little bit of a gap at a high level. And some of these horses that we've seen, as you just mentioned, are good enough that we could see them do well in the stakes coming up.
Quick time out here on Thoroughbred Weekly. Stay tuned on MSG Plus. When we come back, we'll check out Commentator and head to the Twin Spires. Stay tuned.